fastness, and Tim Onlu goes over a tenth of a second fast.
Ladies, gentlemen and others, welcome to the 6th round of the Formula Trout Premier Series. My name's Ross McIntyre, and tonight, as we enter the halfway point of the season, we head to the home of modern single-seater racing and to the Silverstone International Circuit for the British Grand Prix. Just a brief drive away from Milton Keynes, I can assure you there's far less roundabouts around these parts, but instead there's 5.9 kilometres or 3.7 miles of ludicrously high speeds ahead of us, with absolute flat-out corners for days alongside the long straight and fiddly first sector that will get your knickers in a twist every single time. The run from Luffield through to Stowe is hands down one of the best pieces of racetrack in the world, and it's an absolute treat for the drivers every single lap, and some of the braver ones might even fancy a cheeky overtake here there or two. Now unfortunately we have had a few technical issues regarding the stream, so we are quite the way through qualifying at the moment. This man currently on provisional pole, Jan Dragoon, with a 1:26.197. Just want to give a quick shout out to Mr. Kilgore Trout himself for fixing all of that for me. Very kind of him. Again, apologies for the late start. Just absolute chaos on the stream front. But we're here now for qualifying for the Challenger split of the Formula Trout Premier Series here at the British Grand Prix. And as I say that, Van Dijk's just gone to P2. Concord Racing, in I believe it is only their first or second ever Formula Trout Premier Series Challenger split race, are doing a fantastic job. P1 and 2 at the moment on the field. That's Bruno Amorim in P3 as well, or Giovanni Amorim, apologies, in P3. So great showing from him as well. Obviously, he was the winner out in Portugal a few races ago. Jamie, however, bit of a gap too. Dragoon is second off. Jamie Elston in P4. At the moment, Gibson P5, Thompson P6, Willems P7, Rosittis P8, Luca Mangini taking P9, and the other Amorim brother, Bruno Amorim, taking P10 as it stands as he pulls into the pits. We've got 3 minutes and 43 seconds to go here in qualifying for the Challenger split. Obviously, this will be followed by the race and then the Master split soon afterwards. I've just realised that my desktop audio is off and you couldn't hear a thing, so apologies for that. Hopefully that now should be fixed. We'll follow this man around for the time being. Dragoon, who I believe is on an in lap as he comes in because he's somewhere off the pace. Yes, he is. And yeah, Van Dijk won't be far behind. So let's just look down the server. Imran Sheikh, I was watching him practice, having a few internet issues. So that could be something to watch for during the race. Let's find someone on a lap and we'll go on board with them, shall we? I think that's... Well, that's Giovanni Amorim coming out, so we'll follow him on the out lap and then go on board for his hot lap. Giovanni obviously running P3 at the moment, but is second off the two Concord guys. Or second off Dragoon on provisional pole at the moment anyway, which is quite some gap for Giovanni in P3. Again, I do just want to apologise for the late start and the lack of qualifying action. Just stream troubles. We had trouble going live, unfortunately, just with the Twitch and the streaming software. Thankfully, we did get it sorted again. Big shout out to Kilgore for sorting that all for me. What would my life be without you guys, however? Oh, and do not worry, Mr. Heinen, I'm about to take you how Magnus and Beckett should be taken on board with Giovanni. Or I could take it with our pole man, Dragoon, who is on his way out of the pits as well. Letting some people behind, and you know what, he's 6/10 up on everybody at the moment as we enter the last 2 minutes of qualifying. He's going to have one more opportunity to set a lap, so we'll follow him around on his hot lap and let's see if it's a good lap. As it stands, Amorim's about to start. He's coming through to Stowe now anyway. On his way through. Ooh, that's a big wobble on the entry to Stowe. That's not the line you really want to be taking, especially during the race. And on the modern layout as well, this being not quite up to date, there is a big curb on the exit of that corner that will ruin your floor in real life. Insane, not too much trouble. Amorim starting what will be likely his final lap here. Let's just check in where Dragoon is, heading through Magnus Beckett with Van Dijk in tow as well. The two Concord guys obviously trying to help each other out. We'll follow Dragoon around because he's the driver in the front and he's going to be the driver with the pace. He's currently 6/10 up on Van Dijk in P2. Coming through Stone now and into the club chicane. My frame rate not very really liking Silverstone very much at the moment. It should be fine. Apologies if it has a moment. But here we go on the start of a lap around Silverstone. On the exit of club and onto the main straight. Not taking too much curb. Interesting line from Dragoon there. And again, flicking through Abbey. Absolutely flat in these Model Formula 1 cars. Ignore the traffic on the exit. Stay in the middle of the track on the exit. Hard on the brakes for turn 3. A bit wide through there. Could have been a bit cleaner. Now into the loop. Again, beware of the car on the inside and a bit wide through there as well. Pass. Oh, and on the grass from Dragoon. Past the Silverstone 6 grandstand. Wide through the left-hander as well. Now under the bridge. He's going to be down through here. I think, yes, he is. 1.5 tenths down now into Brooklands. Throw the car in and pray it sticks. Could have been a bit tighter on the exit there, and again on the entry to Luffield could have been tighter now. This is one of the best pieces of racetrack in the world. On the run, down through Luffield, through Copse, and then into Maggots, Beckett and Stowe. Get ready for this. Copse, a flat-out blast in these Model Formula 1 cars. Don't even blink or you'll miss it. Straight through the right-hander that used to be the old first corner into Maggots and Beckett now. Left, right, don't lift, left again now on the brakes, down 2 gears. On the throttle again as early as you can. Touch the grass on the outside. The checkered flag is out. Down the hanger straight we go. On the run to Stowe. DRS will be wide open. He is up now. Dragoon through the middle sector into Stowe. Down 2 gears. Bringing in tight. Try not to get a cut track on the exit. That looked good through there. Hard on the brakes into club. Clipping the outside curb. Clipping the inside curb. But not the sausage curb. 1 corner to go here. What's it going to be from Jan Dragoon? Will it be an even quicker lap this time? Yes, it will. 1.5 tenths up goes Jan Dragoon. Van Dijk can go no faster. Where's Amorim? Amorim's coming through Copse at the moment. He's on another lap. So we'll follow him around for the time being. But at the moment, Jan Dragoon's got a very comfortable pole position in the Formula Trout Challenger split. Through Maggots and Beckett. Amorim shall go. Let's see what the split's going to be as he heads through the right and into the left again. Now Chappell to follow. Oh, and he's a long way down. He's a long way down. He is on an in-lap because he's 7.1 seconds down. Agnes Rositis possibly still on a lap. I believe he is. Just a few corners scope him. He could be maybe moving up a few of the orders ever so slightly. And no, he's coming into the pit, so it looks like that will be it. That will be it. I'm very proud of. I'm very proud that you like my Max and Becker's description, Alex. That will be it for, I believe, the Challenger Split qualifying here at the Formula Trout Premier Series. It will be Concord Racing 1-2. Jan Dragoon taking the pole position. Van Dijk in P2. Giovanni Amorim taking P3. Then Jamie Elston, Agnes Rositis, Thompson, Gibson, Kamashov, Willems, Imran Sheikh rounding out the top 10. Bruno Amorim P11. Luca Mangini P12. Jackson 13th. Marshall 14th. Dolciotti in 15th. Unfortunately, I did not see where the rest of the grid was, but I can tell you now if the thing wants to load. Maybe? No? Maybe? No? No? Okay, we're just gonna get this nice screen for a countdown time. So what I'm gonna do is actually gonna flick back to the standby screen so you can't see this, because I'm a professional streamer, you know me. Obviously, make sure you stick around after this Challenger Split race as well. This will go by in an absolute flash, and then we'll have the Master Split race as well. And let me tell you, that round here is going to be phenomenal because those guys with the speed and the confidence they have in these Formula Hybrid 2020 cars are going to be absolutely ferocious. Hopefully not too long until we go onto the grid. 43 laps around here at Silverstone today. 34 laps, not 43. Apologies for that. Apparently can't even read, so not only can I not do maths, I can't read, but you didn't sign up for perfection. I'm not giving you perfection. You got to deal with it, unfortunately. And we've got a bit of debate on between Thomas Marsh and Jan Dragoon, and Thomas Marsh has claimed that he doesn't even deserve to be in the Challenger Split. He should be in the Master Split, and Jan Dragoon is saying, "Nah, I'm fine here, mate." Well, I mean, he's on the pole by 0.6 of a second. That's what you'd be saying. What a lap from Jan Dragoon. Now, hopefully, as I just find the right car, it would appear that my oh, I've clicked the wrong button. It would appear that my timing screen is not having a good night. unfortunately. However, here we can see the car that is on the pole position. Jan Dragoon. It's a pretty big grid here today at Silverstone, which is nice to see. Obviously, the wing complex on the inside. There's now supposedly half a hotel on the outside there. So we will be using this camera due to the grid size. Turn 3 and turn 4 into the loop as well is going to be chaos. Because it's first 2 corners, especially on the first lap, absolutely flat in these cars. Without a shadow of a doubt. These, obviously, these Formula Hybrid 2020 cars based off of the 2020 Formula 1 regulations. And those are some of the fastest, well, they were the fastest Formula 1 cars we ever saw. Obviously, this year they've been toned back for about a second, but... So these things through Abbey and into turn 2 as well, absolutely flat out. And these 2 Concorde guys on pole position, I think will be wanting to get a good getaway. And Alex Cochran hitting with the fat subscribe as well. Thank you very much. Alex Cochran, the legend himself, hitting Formula Trout with a fat subscribe on Twitch Prime. Remember, obviously, make sure to follow the Formula Trout Twitch channel if you're watching on YouTube. Follow away on the or subscribe even and hit the like button as well. Unfortunately, if you are on YouTube, I'll only be following the Twitch chat, but you can always come along and watch on Twitch instead, and I'll be joining. We've got the red lights coming on now for the start of the Formula Trout Challenger Split British Grand Prix. The lights are underway. It's a fantastic start from Dragoon on the outside. He's spinning away well. Looks like Van Dijk struggled a bit on the inside. Elston's going to try and squeeze up the inside line. Can't quite get the move done. There's some cars off into the background there. Not quite sure what's going on. Looking back through the pack. Looks like we're all away cleanly. That's me in the pits. That's not what I wanted to go and see. Looks like we're all somehow away cleanly. Through the first section, into the loop, all looking cleanly as well. And Jan Dragoon, that is the start of a lifetime for the Concorde Racing driver. Somehow made it through without contact through the first few corners. Hats off to everybody for that. Fantastic stuff. Heading through Luffield now. Maggots and Beckett's and Cops should be interesting on this first lap, I tell you. Ooh, and Marshall falling back there. May have a spin. Nope, just a bad start for Thomas Marshall. Down the back of the track, Kimashov and Williams fighting together. Going to go side by side into Kops. That's not the camera I want. That's the camera. They're going to go 3 wide into Kops' corner. And looks like they managed to hold it as well. My goodness me. Jan Dragoon's got 1.1 seconds already up the top. From these Giovanni Mori, who has got past Van Dijk. Look at the gap that Jan Dragoon's got. That is phenomenal. Into Stowe for the first time. Seeing behind if there's going to be any overtakes. And I think for the time being, we are staying clean on lap 1 here, which is phenomenal. Especially at a track like Silverstone, when there's so many opportunities that you just want to take the dive. Imran Sheikh. And there's some action going on ahead. Someone running very wide there in the background. Not quite sure. His keys, Willems. Getting overtaken by, I think, I'm not even sure, Thompson. That's Mike Thompson, that is, in the Griffin Gaming red car. Jackson's gotten past Magini. Carter Jackson. Oh, and then Carter Jackson runs wide on the exit of turn 3. Through the loop. He's made the mistake. Falling back down, the Bell MK Sport driver not having a good time. He's going to get done by Thomas Marshall here as well. Into Brooklyn, sweeping up the inside goes Thomas Marshall. Dragoon's got 3 seconds. Yeah, I'm going home. I'm going. There's no point. He's won the race already. I'm calling it now. Why do we even bother? Agnes Rositis in P8 trying to sweep past Thompson round the outside through Cops and getting these cars so quick through this back section. Maggis and Beckett's. Oh, and who's that sliding off the road? That was Thompson, I think. Where is he? And that is Thompson in the gravel. Mike Thompson. Oh, and spinning back onto the track as well on the exit of Trapple. Mike Thompson's had an absolute nightmare. I think he just lost it on the exit of Beckett's. Found himself. I don't know if he's gone into the wall or not, but Mike Thompson. Well, that's our first big accident of the day. Not really a huge accident. Dragoon with a 129.176 for the fastest lap of the race. That is ridiculously fast out the front. That is horrifically fast from Jan Dragoon. And I can see echoes in the chat calling for this man to get into the master split. And well, this performance, I've got to say, I think I might have to agree with you because, as you look, excuse the black bar coming up on the right hand of the screen. It's been 3 laps and he's got 4 seconds. That's Luca Mangini into the gravel. Luca Mangini off. I think that's at the loop. Not too sure what's going on with Luca Mangini. Oh no, that's on the exit of turn 2. Now that is not a place you'd expect to go off on. So I think there's been contact between the Swiss driver and somebody else there. Luca Mangini to the back of the pack, he falls. Kamishov, and oh, there's a big train behind Kamishov at the moment. He's just holding on to P5 at the moment. Van Dijk's fallen even further back into P4. From P2 on the grid, that's not the start I'm sure he wanted at all. And there's just a train. Kamishov, Gibson, Rositis, and Morim. Shake's not too far behind as well. There's Woodward, who is, well, they're running a 3-car team today, it would appear, that team. Either that or my SimSync's not worked. SimSync obviously being the program which allows me to view all the lovely liveries we have here in the Formula Trout Premier Series. Dragoon, I believe that was another fastest lap of the race from there. Four and a half seconds. I'm tempted just to go home, to be honest. I mean, I am home, but I'm tempted just to go away. There's no point, is there? This is already an absolutely phenomenal performance we're seeing from Jan Dragoon. It's been 3 laps. It's been 3 laps and he's already got a 4.5 second lead. Why are you making my job so difficult, Jan? Can you, like, spin off or something? Please. Jamie Elston looking to try and get past Giovanni and Morim. If he can get a good exit through Cobbs. Ooh, bit of a slide on the entry. That's not what you want to be doing through there. He's on the C4 tyres as well. Giovanni and Morim only on the C3, so he's going to be able to go longer. Elston's going to want to clear Morim as quickly as he possibly can on those softer tyres. Silverstone is not a kind track on tyres either. Your front left really takes a battering through corners like this. Jamie Elston sweeps around the outside through Stowe. What a move by Jamie Elston. Into P2 he goes, and now he sets his sight on the 5-second gap. He runs wide through Club though. This could allow Morim to try and fight back into Abbey Dragoon. A 1:28.715. Another fastest lap of the race there. And looks like Elston's just going to get away with that mistake through Club. Unless Morim's feeling very keen onto the brakes, and he won't for the time being. And there's Jackson making moves as well in the background after that early struggles out through the loop. Carter Jackson up to P12. The Bell MK Sport driver. Bell MK Sport seems to have a theme of not really showing up that often, and then when they do show up, their drivers do alright, because Leo Garibaldi showed up at the Nürburgring and not anywhere else, and, well, he almost won the race on the road, and then got disqualified for not changing his tyre compound. Carter Jackson, after an early spin, fighting his way back through. Good first few laps for Mr. Jackson. Rositis just trying to hold off Gibson for the moment. Agnes Rositis, obviously one of the bigger names on this grid. Been around for a while. The TCE Sports driver just holding off Gibson for the time being. And there goes Gibson trying on the DRS into Stowe. He's going to get around the move done before Stowe even happened. The DRS obviously working absolute wonders here at Silverstone. And we've had another subscription as well. All you Twitch lads, I just want to say a big thank you to, firstly a thank you to all watching here at Formula Trout. It's obviously very, very beneficial to everybody here. There's a lot of work that goes into this league. A lot of work goes into the broadcast, so I do want to thank you all for that. But again, thank you for subscribing as well. Obviously, we're now Twitch athletes because we're just that cool at the Formula Trout League. And, yeah, so, yeah, thank you for the subscription. Oh, excuse me there, that's Keys. Velam's trying to go around the outside through the loop. Case Films take a bow. I didn't even see that move, but around the outside of the loop. That is a move you don't see ever. Both have DRS. That's going to be Woodward trying to dive down the inside into Brooklands. Case runs very wide onto the marbles, who'll hold the inside line into Luffield for now. We're going to try and find the right camera angle. Adam Woodward has to concede the position for the time being. The Amorim brothers are fighting. Hang on, what's happened to Giovanni Amorim? I think Giovanni's had a spin because he's down in P9. He's just been overtaken by his brother, who was running P3 earlier on. And he's just been overtaken by Case Willems as well. Oh dear, Giovanni Amorim not having a good time at team at the moment. And I've just noticed what's on the top of the helmet, and I no longer want to be on board with him. I suppose that's part of the beauty of sim racing, is that you can literally have whatever you want at the top of your helmet, even if that includes a animated live bottle of toothpaste defecating its insides. And that is Amorim coming into the pits. I would assume he's got damage because it's way too early for those C3 compounds to be coming. Kamyshov's in as well. Okay. Dmitry Kamyshov into the pitch. The Russian driver must have damage as well, so maybe him and Amorim came together. Let's see what tyres he goes on to. And yep, that's going to be damage repairs for Kamyshov. He's being held for a long time out. Oh, that's the C5s. Or 1s even. That is the hardest compound of tyre we have available. As you can see, the blue sidewall. Now, typically in the Formula Trout League, you only really see the 3 compounds, C2, C3, C4, respectively being the red, yellow, and white sidewalls. These are the C5s. This is the hardest compound you can use. So we know that Kamyshov can go to the end of the race, especially seeing as how hard Silverstone is quite harsh on tyre wear. Carter Jackson continuing to fly up the order. Now into P8. Yeah, C1s, I think, or C5, I think C4s could make the end, or C2s can make the end of, C4s definitely can't make the end of the race. And yeah, again, it's the C1s. Apparently they work on this track, according to my inside information from all the people driving in the chat, in the master split. I'm just a humble commentator, I would not know, but, you know, just from an observation. Obviously, Silverstone is very harsh on the tyres. So, C1s, definitely an opportunity. Not the C5s, I do want to reiterate that. I can't, if you've been watching Formula Trout for a while now, and you haven't clocked that I can't do maths, you need your head checked, frankly. Dragoon, an 8-second lead, 8 laps in. This is some performance by the man up front. His teammate Jannes van Dijk has got past Jamie Elston back into P2. Elston's side's obviously starting to feel the wear just a tiny little bit. Kamyshov's just got past Marshall by the looks of things as well. On the exit of onto the main straight even. Which is actually one of kind of the shortest straights on the track. Into Chapel, or out of Chapel, should I say, Van Dijk goes. Number 39 Concord Racing driver. Not running the number 4 for reasons I can't quite explain, because then he'd fulfill every Liverpool fan's chance dream. And I won't repeat the Liverpool chant because A, I'm not a Liverpool fan, and B, I'd probably get copyrighted by Liverpool FC for some reason, but... Looks like Woodward's having a bit of trouble. That's Adam Woodward off the road, and Chapel. Adam Woodward, not quite, maybe a bit of contact. I don't think so though, because he looks like he's gone off in his zone, so must have dipped a wheel on the exit of Beckett, on the entry to Chapel, and found himself looping around. He's got his teammate behind him in Giovanni Amorim, who's on a fresher set of rubber. That was a big loss from Amorim on the C1s as well. Very hard tyre compounds being favoured here today. I'm just looking through, looks like the race has already found its way and settled down. We're not even 10 laps in yet. But that being said, 10 laps in is almost a third of the way through, so... take what you will. Woodward hasn't come into the pits this time round. And look at the gains that his teammates made him, even on those harder tyres. And there, for the person who wants to see in chat, there you can see what's on Giovanni's helmet. Just for you. I don't like going on board with Giovanni anymore, but... And I think Woodward's tyres are absolutely cooked, because as it stands, Giovanni Amorim is already overtaking him on a tyre compound that is 3 steps harder. And he is flying away into the distance. And that'll be that, I guess. Back up to P13 goes Giovanni Amorim. Looks like Carter Jackson's got Bruno Amorim to do, and Bruno Amorim's gone off. That's Bruno Amorim off at club. So both the Amorim brothers struggling, it would appear, here today. The Bag Motorsports crew not having the best time out on track. Wait, it says sorry Ross on the headrest? Does it? Oh, it does! I didn't even know. Okay, I'm now forever going to ride on board with Giovanni Amorim. It says sorry Ross on the headrest. I'm done. My commentary career is over. Thank you very much for watching the Formula Trout League. It's been great. We're going to the interviews now. Does anybody who wants an interview? It's been a fantastic race, everybody here. My God. Oh, take a bow, Giovanni. Okay, I've gone from being my least favourite onboard to my favourite onboard. And I didn't even notice that. I mean, I appreciate the shout out, I guess. Well, that's not something you see every day. This is a more normal onboard with Luca Mangini, who's trying to get around Kamashov at the moment. He's got, well, trying to get around the other Amorim at the moment, should I say. And he's going to get through the other Amorim. As is Kamashov in the background. The other Amorim then dives into the pits anyway. I wonder if the other Amorim has it on board. Oh, I really want to watch the onboards out. Oh, it just says sorry Ross on the onboards as well. Thanks, guys. Does it say on Woodward's car as well? Yeah, it does. I guess they've all got memes on their helmet and they apologise. But you know what? Big respect for the Bag Motorsport crew. That is funny. I will give them that. That's Bruno Amorim. You know what? We'll go see what tyres Bruno Amorim goes onto. I assume at this distance could be the C2s. Maybe the C1s. Might be a bit earlier or late for the C1s. It's on the C1s. There you are. So the hardest tyre being the preferred tyre here today. Not the case for Jan Dragoon though. Who has got 10 seconds on Van Dijk, now his teammate. And he is absolutely flying on those C3 tyres at the moment. I just want to apologise for my manic laughing earlier. But, Bag Motorsports is now my favourite team in anything. They deserve it, you know. Let's go on board with Dragoon. That's not on board. That's on board with Jan Dragoon. As he flies through the right hand of the Concorde Racing guys, having a phenomenal race out there today. And their team boss Ty Isom not being there today. But Dragoon and Van Dijk absolutely filling that spot well. It's a 1-2 as it stands. I also think Van Dijk's just gone off the road because it's now dropped to 14 and almost 15 seconds between him and Dragoon. And Elston is right on his gearbox. Gibson not far behind Elston either. Dolciotti pits. And Van Dijk's actually trying to do a bit of toe braking there. That is interesting. The slipstream isn't that intense in Assetto Corsa. This one again using it as Elston dives into the pits from P3. That promotes Gibson up to the podium place. Yeah, the slipstream in Assetto Corsa isn't world renowned for its amazingness. And I've just had a highlighted message on Twitch telling me that I suck. Thank you very much. That's Toby Sanford, who's going to be our in the Master Split later with Oxtan. I'll make sure to compliment your driving very well, shall I say, when we go on board with you later, Toby. But yeah, Van Dijk, I think, making mistakes. Elston, what tyres is he going on to on the exit of the pit lane? Is my frame rate drops to about 2 frames a second there momentarily. Now, here we go. That's the C4s. That's the tyre I was expecting to see on most of the runners. So obviously now those guys at the front who have been able to manage those tyres well enough to go, you know, further than anybody else. Luca Mangini into the pits as well. Luca Mangini's gone that far in the C4s. Wow. It was had to reverse into the pits a bit, but that's an impressive distance from Mr. Mangini on those C4 tyres. I assume he'll be going on to the C2s as well. Yes, he does. So the now you can go on those softer compound tyres and make it to the end. Dragoon, 15.3 seconds now. Gibson and Rositis pretty close for P3. And I've now been giving another highlight message saying, no, don't, please, by the same Toby Sanford. And I won't, if you're that kind. You can, again, you can highlight the message in the chat. You can follow, you can subscribe on Twitch, and then obviously on YouTube you can subscribe, smash the like button as well. It really helps out everybody here at the Formula Trout League. Again, a lot of effort does go into the organisation, the stewarding, the broadcasting, you know, everything to bring you the best single-seater action in Assetto Corsa. And, you know, everybody here, we do appreciate all your support, because we want to carry on bringing you the best single-seater action in Assetto Corsa. We do want to carry on doing that, so we do thank you for that. A few drivers into the pits, that's Shake, Willems and Jackson and Woodward all in as well. Willems out on the C4s, Jackson out on the C4s, Shake out on the C4s. I'm sure we're seeing Woodward out on the C4s any second now. There's me. Hello, camera car. Woodward running it in first gear. Usually I'd run it in second down the pit lane, but hey ho, that's just me. I'm going to change down in the pits. What tyres will it be? It's going to be the C4s as well. And out he comes. Adam Woodward down into P15. Dragoon's in as well. Here we go. Out on the C4s. Van Dijk in as well. So that's the race lead to Gibson, who needs the box. Dragoon's out on the C4 tyres. Van Dijk will be out on the C4s, I'm sure. That's Rositis going through as well. Yep, out on the C4s. I'm sure we'll be seeing Rositis onto the C4s as well. Obviously, we have to kind of run the onboards in the pits because there's no really good camera angles of this pit lane because it's below the track. If you haven't noticed the kind of weird, steep ridge thing, I don't understand it either. And I mean, I've stood in the pit lane at Silverstone. It is steep. Those stairs on the inside are very tall. Elston has squeezed past Rositis into P4. So it will be Dragoon, Van Dijk, Elston, Rositis when Gibson boxes. Rositis, I think, will be frothing at the mouth for a good result today. It's not quite gone his way so far this season. Not quite gone all accordingly to plan. But then again, it's been a topsy-turvy season in the Challenger Split. We had 2 races of utter domination by Mustafa Muradi, who then found his way into the Master Split after 2 races. And then we've just had, you know, we've had chaos in all the other races. It's been a different winner basically each time. Who knows what could happen? Please read out my highlighted message. Thanks. You are welcome to read out my highlighted message. Is it Cece's? Oh my goodness, Again, I just want to apologise for my maths ability. It is dreadful. It is the C4s are the red ones. The C2s are the white ones. Everyone's on the C2s, not the C4s. 5s are the quickest, 1s are the slowest. I've done this for how long? I've followed Formula 1 for how long? I should know this by now. It does have to do with... Shut up, you're not commentating. Shut up, this does have to do with Matt. And that is Gibson into the pits out on the C2s. C2s. I mean, if you want to come along, if you want to commentate, Toby, you're welcome to. You can come along and join. Frankly, at this point, who knows? My brain's melted. So, it's still Dragoon, it's still 16 seconds up the road. That being said, Van Dijk, Elston and Gibson are all pretty close together. And we do actually, Toby's actually joined. Toby, are you there?
I am indeed.
Well, hello. Thanks. Yeah, thanks.
I'm here to critique your lack of knowledge over tyre compound colours.
I mean, yeah, it's been a rough night in terms of tyre compounds for me. What can I say? Thanks for coming along for kind of the second half of this race. I guess we are almost halfway through, but. Yeah, here's Jannes Van Dijk just trying to hold off Elston, Gibson and Rositas at the moment. I'm just going to allow Toby to see my screen so he can properly commentate this. That's not what I wanted to show you.
Oh.
Maybe. There we go, that's what I wanted to show you.
There we go, now we got it.
So now Toby can see it as well. 2
in the booth for the last 18 laps, I think.
Yeah, and I've also been told... hang on, I'm just going to try and ignore... So now you're going to get to see... some fantastic inside. Oh, that's Dolciotti round. I was just about to say you're about to see how a streamer does his job, but that's Luca Dolciotti round at turn 3. Still in his way, down in last position. Dolciotti really not having a great race at the moment. Neither is his teammate Thompson in P16, or P14 should I say, and his teammate's Marshall, my apologies. Those guys really struggling out there today. The tyres maybe just not quite working for them in the way that they would. Gibson and Elston looking very close together. I mean, we'll go on board with Ollie Gibson on the run into Copse. And flying through Copse, he won't be suffering from that much loss of downforce. Did have to downshift though. Interesting. Just turned it a tad too late, I think. Maggots and Beckett's now. Come on, should have been flat. Ollie sorted it out. Bit of a lag across the track there as well, do ignore that, and nowhere near enough curb on the exit of Chapel. That's a hope you're taking notes, Toby. I'm educating people.
I am indeed. I'm trying to pick up, you know, where I can abuse track limits maybe a bit more than I have at the moment.
That's fair enough. Jan Dragoon has just set another fastest lap at 128.2. He's now got 16.6 seconds. To Jannes Van Dijk in P2, which is quite a gap indeed. And looking through Jackson, I believe that's Bruno Amorim. Yes, it is Bruno Amorim and Carter Jackson fighting for the last points position. Obviously, the points positions, as they would be in most FIA-sanctioned series in real-world motorsport. 25 points for the winner, then 18, then 15, and so on, down to 1 for 10th place, and that is Amorim diving up the inside into Stowe. Can Jackson fight back into Club, though, is right on the exit. And it looks like Amorim's going to try and take the inside line. Jackson's on the softer tyre compound, trying to sweep around the outside in the left-hander, gets the position back, maybe. Can't go and get the drive off the chicane, but has the inside line into the final corner. Amorim still there, though, on the run into Abbey. Let's follow him around. He's really wide through Abbey. That's not going to help him at all. Carter Jackson's going to hold on to that P10 for the moment. But the Bell MK Sport driver is still under attack. And Amorim has been quick all race long. Coming through the left-hander now. Past the Silverstone Sticks grandstand. I can't remember what that corner's called for some reason. I just know the grandstand's name because that's where I sit every time I go to Silverstone. Coming into Brooklands now. And Amorim will be suffering with a bit of dirty air from the back of Jackson's Bell MK Sport car. And the fact that he's on the harder tyres as well. Those C1 tyres. Really not having a good time out there. And he's going to try and dive down the inside through Copse. And Jackson just holds on for the moment. Trying to find his way through Maggots and Beckett's. Can he try and find his way through in Chapel, maybe? No, just not quite got the grip. He's got the straight line speed.
Speed?
Speed. I'm having a nightmare, okay?
Yeah, having a bad night.
Hopefully
this improves to the master split.
I'll have Caitlin carrying me in the Masters, but it would be okay. Apologies for my atrocious commentary. That's more. I'm having a look down the inside. Can't quite get it. Just too far back. Oh, that's a big wobble from Carter Jackson. Moorum's going to try and loop around the outside through Club. Can't get it done. But he's got all the momentum in the world to have a look into Abbey. No, he's having to back off Carter Jackson, running really wide. Managing to hold the position, though. This is a great battle we've got on our hands between these two for P10. And looks like we might have Hepner coming in the background as well if they carry on. Jackson desperately trying to hold on. He's on the softer tyre, but doesn't have the pace advantage of the pair at the moment. The Bell MK Sport driver is just desperately holding on from the back Motorsport driver. Oh, that's a wobble from Morum on the exit of Luffield. Down the old start, finish straight they go. Looks like Jackson even has a bit of a safety net this time around after that wobble from Morum. But if Morum gets a good exit from Club, which Cops even, which it looks like he does.
Well, it's just about in. We do have a bit of a battle shaping up for a third position at the moment between Gibson and Elston.
We do. We'll just cut to
final
that
podium position.
We'll just cut to that briefly. We've still got 14 laps to go after this one, but this is very tight. That's Gibson trying to look to the inside into Brooklands. He's having to back off his Elston. Manages to cut back across. Holds the position for the time being, and Morum's got past Jackson when we were watching that. So there you are through Stowe by the looks of things. That's battle. And Morum back up to P10. Back to Elston and Gibson though. And again, looks like Elston's just got himself a bit of a safety net coming through Cop's corner. The old stuff, Hepner's gone around as well. Mangini's got past. That's Hepner round. Where's that at? That's on the exit of Club Chicane. Must have just given it a boot for. Found himself round in the Koenigsegg Kart Republic car. It's very easy to go around there. Obviously, these things have almost 1,000 horsepower and a lot of torque with these hybrid engines. Very, very easy just to find yourself facing the wrong direction if you give it too much of a right footfall. Elston just holding on for the time being. Morum already has a second and a half on Carter Jackson down in P10. That is quite the gap already for about half a lap later. Lap 21 of 34 here at Silverstone for the Formula Trout Premier Series Challenger Split. As we just follow these guys around. And I've just been given a fun fact that Gibson is Jack Smith's brother apparently, so there you are. I'm not entirely sure on that one, but, you know, typically different last name. I mean, it might be stepbrothers, I don't know. Elston, though, still holding on to the position. Gibson drawing ever closer. We'll go back on board with Ollie Gibson. And that's really wide from Elston on the court and the exit of Luffield. That's going to allow Gibson a big run. No DRS. Down the old start, finish straight. Trying to sweep around the outside of Copse. Not going to be able to do it. Elston managing to just keep it in a straight line through Copse. All over the grass. Through Maggots and Beckett's now. Into Chapel. That's a lot more speed carried by Elston through those corners. But Gibson appears to have the straight line advantage. He will have the DRS down the hanger straight. Not going to be anywhere near close enough into Stowe though. And into Club Chicane. Elston still driving defensive. I'm going to be brutally honest with you, Jamie. I don't think Ollie's going to die from that far back. He's not that stupid. Janus van Dijk sets the fastest lap of the race at 1:28 dead. That's the first kind of bite back we've seen from the other Concord driver, but it's too little too late at this point because he's 15.5 seconds back from Dragoon and only 12 laps to well, get that done. So that's over a second a lap. If you're going to do some simple mathematics to try and get back. Imran Sheikh and Giovanni Amorim having a bit of a tiff through Stowe. Looks like Sheikh's just got through him. And, well, looks like at the moment, those C1 tyres even are really struggling in this kind of middle to latter stage of their life. They were pretty good early on, but now they're just starting to fall apart. I mean, and that's Jackson around as well. Carter Jackson is in the pits. Okay. Oh, no, that's Carter Jackson out of the race! Oh, what a shame for Carter Jackson, running for P10 earlier on. Out of the race, what a shame for him. Oh, I do feel bad for the for Carter Jackson there. He was having a good race down in P11, I think he was running at the time. But out our first retirement in the Challenger Split today. Hopefully one of the last, because we never like to see a retirement. But out of the race he goes. That promotes Luca Mengini just outside of the points positions, but he's got 7.5 seconds to make up to... Ooh, and that's... who's that running very wide? That's Thomas Marshall off the track, I believe. Running very wide off the track. While these two try and find their way through neck and neck. Coming into turn 3 now. Gibson trying to have a look into the outside. Can't quite get past Elston at the moment. Elston sitting very comfortably in P3. Oh no, and Elston goes round! Jamie Elston, a half spin through the loop. Manages to keep it going. Rositis could try and get him down. Wellington straight now with the momentum in the DRS maybe. Maybe he won't have the DRS, but he'll certainly have the momentum. Will he try for the dive into Brooklands? No, he won't for the time being. Gibson up to P3. Elston. Oh, crucial mistake there. Down to P4 he falls. Here goes Rositis now trying to fight his way through. Can't quite get the move done into Cops. That is a very, very tricky corner to overtake those, especially in these Formula Hybrid 2020 cars. They are so quick through there. And Elston looks very, very strong through the corners, to be fair. He's obviously running a higher downforce setup than most other drivers. Over the course of this race, we've been seeing him just, you know, pulling away through Maggots and Beckett's. In the Lioneers racing car. Their logo just everywhere to kind of nail that in place. Now, that's Bruno Amorim getting past, or Giovanni Amorim even getting past Luca Mengini there. Giovanni now onto the C3 tyres, so obviously the C1s weren't working for him. I mean, again, obviously, if you can't tell from my earlier mistakes, I don't really know how the tyres on these cars work, because I haven't really driven this car very much, but someone who has driven this car a decent much is Toby Sanford, who's alongside me. Toby, how does the tyre fall off kind of work in these cars?
Well, for the most part, it depends on the circuit. Obviously, Silverstone's quite a high-speed, high-load circuit, so the tyre fall-off, for the most part, comes from the temperature that's built up, obviously through the likes of Cops, Maggots, Beckett's, so on and so forth. That's very aggressive defending from Epner, I believe, that was into Stowe. But yeah, for the most part, the tyre fall-off, it's kind of thick and fast. It's very difficult to explain when you're not driving the car, because it's one lap it will feel all right, and then the lap after, once you've gone kind of over that cliff, it's gone. The tyre just has no pace. It's perfectly drivable, but it is very, very, very slow. So it's all about finding, obviously, when the transition, when the tyre transitions from fast to just awful.
I mean, that's interesting. Obviously, tyre management is part of the kind of package that comes with being a skilled single-seater racer. I mean, we saw a few races back at the Nürburgring. Leo Garibaldi, in his kind of one and only appearance in the Formula Trout League so far this season, put in a phenomenal performance and put in a fantastic stint on the C4s and went way more laps than they should have been allowed, but just kind of carried those tyres very gently, very softly home into P3. Did unfortunately get disqualified after the race for not using two different compounds, but if we ignore the fact that he was excluded from the results afterwards, it was a fantastic performance on a set of tyres that had no right for going as long as they did. So, I mean, and again, obviously, on a sim, the tyres, well, obviously they're not going to be as realistic as real life, because it's not real life. It's some binary code, as that's Luca Mengini having a look on the inside of Hepner into Stowe. Not quite going for it this time, but he's all over the back of Hepner at the moment. Oh, Mengini wobbles on the exit of the club chicane, and he's going to fall a long way back from Hepner. Shame for him, because they were absolutely neck and neck for about a lap and a half there. But yeah, obviously the tyres are going to be very different to what they are in real life, and that's part of the package of being, you know, successful in Formula Trout, is managing the tyres well and being able to understand the tyres and how to use them, because as Toby said, it's a very weird cliff pattern. That is partly the game, you know, but partly just the limitations of sim racing. But that's, yeah, just gotta roll the punches.
Yeah, tire model is a very, very difficult thing for any sim to kind of nail as shown by iRacing, I think we should say. Just, it's a very, very difficult thing to reproduce because obviously rubber interacts with the tarmac and the surface it's on very, very differently in real life compared to how you'd be able to model it in a sim, for example. Obviously, I'm not a
Oh, sorry to interrupt you, Toby. That's Luca Mangini. Big accident. That's a huge accident on the entrance to Maggots and Beckett's. Looks like he's managed to keep going. It's big into the impact into the wall there. I think we'll be seeing him into the pits very shortly, and he's spinning back across the track at Chapel. Luckily, nobody was coming there. I think those tyres are going to be more molten than lava, but my goodness. And he's retired from the race. Oh dear, Luca Mangini was strong performance from him. He's out of the race already. What a shame for him. Sorry, Toby, for interrupting you there.
That's alright. I was just going to go on some boring kind of very basic explanation for differences in tires between a sim and a real life. I'm just going to say that I'm not a super geek, so I don't really understand how you might be able to translate it. But I guess Niels Juicingfeld, he's on a couple of videos covering the topic if it interests you at all.
Well, I mean, to put it into perspective, the game which most people consider far and wide to have the most accurate tyre model, being R Factor 2, has possibly the worst tyre model in the world because it's so easy just to absolutely abuse it. So
yeah, you just got to abuse the slip angle in R Factor 2 to go quickly.
Yeah, just go full lock through every corner, you can basically find 2 seconds a lap. It's I mean, if you drive it realistically, then yeah, it's pretty accurate. But if you abuse the living daylights out of the physics engine, which is very easy to do on ISI Motor 3, which is what that game runs on.
Wait, was there an ISI Motor 2?
There was.
Did I miss that? I must have missed that.
Motor 2, I think, is what Race Room's built on. As we're seeing some moves here on some lap cars, trying to get past Dragoon. ISI Motor 2 is a thing. Yeah, I think it's what Race Room's built on, unless I'm mistaken. But
yeah, I'm only aware of one, and well, I always assumed that the R Factor 2 engine was 2, but obviously not.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, R Factor 2 definitely ISI Motor 3, unless I'm again having another brain melting moment, which seems to be more and more common tonight than usual.
Maybe it's the Domino's.
Maybe I did have a Domino's for dinner earlier. It may be that.
See, maybe your inferior choice of pizza fast food has ruined you tonight.
It's possible. I mean, it's the closest shop to me. What can I say? But it is a possibility.
Yeah, Pizza Hut don't deliver for me, so I'm pretty upset about that.
I mean, you're driving. You're supposed to be eating healthily or something for peak performance.
It doesn't matter if I'm in front of the computer.
I mean that's actually a very interesting debate because there's been some solid evidence that actually kind of training actually does make you quicker in sim. So maybe you should start a workout regime, Toby.
Maybe I should start hitting at the gym. I haven't really been doing that for a good 21 years at this point. So
yeah, you know, maybe that's the secret to unlocking the true pace. Is well, I mean, it's probably obviously not as much as real life. It's not as important. Obviously, you don't have the torque forces. You definitely don't suffer from the muscle fatigue of the G forces of the two Amoran brothers swap places there, just in front of Dragoon. We'll try and follow these guys around as we're going. Oh, that's a really late dive from Dragoon, taking lapping cars very aggressively, despite the fact he's 17 seconds ahead of Van Dijk in P2. But yeah, there is pretty solid evidence that training does actually make you quicker. It just kind of gives you the right mindset and the car control. Obviously, you don't have to be as physically strong, or you know, have 0% muscle fat as you know real-world single-seater drivers do, because you don't have to worry so much about car weight and muscle fatigue from G-forces, as we already mentioned. But you know, just kind of car control, hand-eye coordination, just keeping yourself in shape as well. In shape as well. But again, it's not important because I know a lot of sim drivers that drink and smoke quite heavily, and they do all right for themselves. So I may be just totally wrong and talking the largest amount of rubbish you've ever heard, but it's an interesting theory, I think.
No, I'll agree with the hand-eye coordination and just general car control thing, but I think you kind of just pick that up from doing it more in general, to be honest. It's why it's just the number one tip for getting faster is just keep turning laps for the most part. Because unfortunately, that's what I've been doing for a good 10 years or so now, unfortunately, on different platforms. So
throwback to the R Factor 1 days?
Yeah, it was around doing some small club stuff on that. Not really any of the big things, but for the most part on GT5 and GT6 on the PS3 with my classic, fantastic driving course GT.
And now you're a Formula Trout Master Split driver. How far you've come.
I know. Onward. The only way is up.
I think Rositis has just gone off the road. And yes, he has. Agnes Rositis off the road at the Exeter Cops corner. Not sure what's happened here, but he's just fallen from P4 down to P6 in the last few laps of the Challenger Split race here at Silverstone. Obviously, this being the halfway point of the season for both Challenger and Master Split. It's been a very quick season, it must be said. It seems like yesterday we're having our first race of the year, and now we are at the halfway point. And Rositis looks like no damage, not coming into the pits. But yeah, down to P6 he falls, so another nightmare for Agnes today. Always there or thereabouts, just never quite capitalising on the podiums or the wins that I feel he might deserve. He's a very quick driver, just also very, very unlucky. So a shame for him. Yeah, lap 30 out of 34 though, and at this point the race is all but over. Dragoon's got 17 seconds to Van Dijk in P2, who's got 8.5 seconds to Gibson in P3, who's got 9.5 seconds to Elson in P4. Everyone's a solid gap away from each other. And now it's just about bringing the car home and finishing the race in one piece, really. And as I say that, really wide from Rositis. He's taking either a very aggressive late apex line, or he's got some downforce issues that is causing him to overshoot his braking by some margin.
I think that was just a line. That is a line you can take through Luff. Is that
is
Luffield?
Luffield, yeah.
I believe it's Luffield. Yeah, it's a very aggressive late line you can take through Luffield. There's one of the great things about Luffield is there are a lot of options for what line you want to take. Most of them pretty much have the same end result. What Rositis was doing there was pretty much just straightening up the apex as best he could, just to get a little bit more straight line speed coming towards Cox, and then obviously the following Maggots and Beckett's complex.
Yeah, it was one of the most aggressive lines I've seen to else who's said. I think well, in real life Formula 1 racing, I think the preferred line is the double apex line, which is obviously, I mean, you take two apexes through the corner, one early on and one late on, but that was a very, very deep, very late single apex from Agnes Rositis. But he's the one driving, not me. I'm just gonna go with what Toby says. He's the better out of the pair of us. And that's why I commentate, really.
Luffield was very interesting because, of course, well, you'll know, nobody else watching will. I went to Arden to have a go on their simulator running a good old R Factor 1 Pro. And I did the national layout, albeit in a Formula 4 car. And what they were saying with Luffield is that you pretty much want to hug the inside curb the entire way through and just get on the power as early as you can. But yeah, I don't know. A lot of people have very different ways of approaching Luffield, or it seems anyway. And I honestly can't tell you what one's right. I've just gone off of what Arden told me the day I tried out their simulator.
I mean, I've also been in the Arden simulation. I went to Throxton and proceeded to break both my legs at church. So, you know, different experiences for the pair of us there. But, I mean, they're the professional racing team. I mean, they've won the F3000 championship a few times. They've always been kind of up there in GP, well, what was GP2 and now F2. They've always been around. Formula 3, they've been quite competitive. They were quite competitive. Formula Regional, well, and obviously British F4, they're one of the teams to beat. So, I mean, in that scenario, I think I'd trust the professional racing team that have been doing it for a fair few years. But
I do thank them for their hospitality that day, though. That was a really, really special day for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's I mean, obviously you got to go on a simulator, on a proper simulator. It's not a bad day out, that, is it? No,
and it's kind of started a couple of other things, but we'll leave that to one side.
Yeah, that's a discussion for another day, maybe.
Maybe when it happens, that'll be something that'll be brought up. But for now, not quite yet.
Yeah, give it a few months or a year, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
There's still plenty of time in the future. On the subject of the future, however, there's not long left in this race. We're on lap 33 of 34 as Giovanni Amorim sets the fastest lap of the race at 1:27. But that's not the fastest lap of the race, that's his fastest lap. It's a 1:27.6. No, that is the fastest lap of the race, solid, because the fastest lap previously was 1:28. I thought the previous fast lap was 1:27. Giovanni Amorim there flying along at the moment late in the race, but is down in P9 at the moment, which is not too great for him. But yeah, lap 33 of 34, this race is almost over, and we are almost at the halfway point in the Formula Trout Premier Series Challenger split season. And my, oh my, what a season it's been. We've had ups and downs, lefts and rights, absolutely everywhere. We've had Mustafa Moradi dominating the first two races and then finding himself into the Challenger split, and then just chaos since then. And we'll follow the man who's absolutely dominated this race for the last lap and a half as well, as he comes through Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel now. Jan Dragoon, we'll go for this camera as well because I prefer it, and he's on his way through Chapel now. It's been a pretty flawless performance from Dragoon. He's fronting up a Concorde 1-2 on what is their second even ever Formula Trout Challenger split race. These guys being set up by Tyre Isom, who would be, I believe, in Van Dijk's place today, but he's not there. And well, Jan's done an absolutely fantastic job, and he starts the final lap of the race now. And yeah, it's been a phenomenal performance from Jan. He's just led the entire way around, and you can't fault him really. That Concorde car has been absolutely solid. And let's not forget his teammate in Janus Van Dijk as well, who also begins his final lap of the race. Not been on the pace of his teammate, obviously 18 seconds separating them now, but he's also had a very, very strong performance. He's, held that second place, made it his own. Fought off Gibson, fought off Elston. The Concorde guys, this has been very much their day today. And, as you can see just in the chat, just allowed to say that, you can vote for your driver of the day in the challenge split using that link. Make sure you do. You don't get any special prizes for it, but it's really just kind of bragging rights. It makes you feel very happy if you win, I suppose. It's not like a Formula 1 where you get some special little Pirelli trophy. We don't really have the budget for that, frankly, but not long to go now for Jan Dragoon. Just a few corners on his way through Stowe. Again, what a performance we've seen from Jan today. I think it's been pretty flawless. That was someone doing donuts, I think, there in the background. Not sure who it was. But that doesn't matter because he's got one corner to go. And it's going to be Jan Dragoon to cross the line to win the Formula Trout Challenger split here at the British Grand Prix. And what a win it's going to be. And he's going to be fronting up a 1-2 for Concorde Racing as well. Here's his teammate. Again, just a few corners to go, and what a performance from both of these guys. He's already weaving before he's crossed the line. He knows how much this win means for the team, and he knows how much this 1-2 means for himself as well. A second place for Janus Van Dijk. It's going to be Ollie Gibson coming home in P3 as well. Jamie Elston will take P4. Kamashov will take P5. Resitis will come home in P6. Case Willems will be P7. Giovanni, I believe it's Giovanni Amorim will be P8. Yes, it is Giovanni Amorim down in P8 as he skids off into the grass at Luffield. Imran Sheikh P9. Bruno Amorim P10. Hepner P11. Woodward P12. Dolciotti 13th. Thompson 14th. Marshall 15th. And then Mengini 16th. And Jackson 17th are two DNFs from today. Well, that has been some race today. And now hopefully we'll be able to have some interviews as I just wait to see if anybody hops into the channel. But yeah, that's been some race that we've just seen there, Toby. Or Toby's already gone. Never mind, I didn't notice he'd gone because I've got my streaming thing on. So I can't hear him because Discord obviously doesn't speak to you when you're streaming. Toby's already gone. Obviously, he'll be racing in the Challenger split in a moment. So thanks for Toby to coming along, I guess. But yeah, a very, very nice 1-2 for Concorde Racing there. I'm just waiting to see if anybody comes in for the interviews. And at the moment, it's nobody. Which is, I'm all alone. If anybody does want an interview, please pop into the interview channel. There we go. That's Maxi Junger wants an interview for reasons. We'll drag Maxi in. Maxi, you there?
I am here.
Well, I mean,
I
first,
figured no one wants an interview, so
well, I
oh,
mean,
Case is here. Case is here.
well, we
Please.
could interview briefly first if you want. We'll just get your opinion. I mean, what was your opinion on that race then?
It was pretty exciting to watch. I've watched the whole thing. It was pretty interesting. Some nice battles. I liked the battle for P10 between I think it was Carter Jackson and Luca
Yeah,
Mangini.
yeah, that was a
That
pretty
was
strong
pretty
battle.
nice to watch.
Yeah, it was a good race overall. Well, thanks for your opinion, Maxi. I'm going to tell you to go away now so I can interview Case.
Okay, see you.
Thanks, Maxi. That's Maxi eating everybody. We'll interview Case Willems though. Can you hear me, Case?
I can. Hello.
Hello. So yeah, pretty decent race for you out there. Just kind of run us through what happened.
Well, obviously being in a race that we sponsor, we want to try our best. And to be honest, I'm pretty happy with our results. I finished P7, I believe. My teammate P4. Yeah, the start of my race wasn't the best. I think I spun a few times. I'm not sure if it was caught on stream. I spun, I believe, on near the final chicane. I think I almost got hit by a few people because I was stopped in the middle of the track. Luckily, it didn't happen. Anyway, the rest of my race went pretty decent. C2s felt really good. Was pretty happy with them. And yeah, P7 for me. Pretty happy with that.
Yeah, that's not bad. Again, obviously this being the race that you kind of sponsored, it's and obviously your teammate Elston had a great performance out there. Do you think that's just a good result for the team overall?
Yeah, definitely. It's going to bring in a lot of points, especially for him, because this race was the first time for him. This was the first race for him. He's finally scored some points, which should help us in the Constructor Championship as well. So yeah, no podium, but great results.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we've just hit the halfway point of the season. Obviously, points is kind of the aim of the game. So yeah, that's kind of what you want to achieve. Thank you very much for joining us, Case, and yeah, good performance out there today.
Absolutely, thank you. Thanks for commentating.
Oh, it's no worry. That was Case Willems, everyone. Both the Amorum siblings want an interview. We'll get Giovanni in here first because he's close to my commentator's channel. Giovanni, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you absolutely perfectly. So, well, bit of an interesting race out there for you today. Just kind of run us through what happened.
Yeah, so I got a decent start. And I saw Van Dyke kind of dive bombed me a little bit at one point. That was okay. And then things are going pretty well. And then I just completely lost the rear at one point. I don't even remember. I think Cobbs, I think. And so I put it for C1s. I was going along pretty nicely with those, but then I lost it again. So then I switched to C3s and just kind of went on till the end.
I mean, you scored the fastest lap of the race on those C3s, so there was obviously pace there tonight. So the result obviously doesn't kind of reflect ultimately what could have been. So do you think that just kind of gives you more motivation to do well in the next race?
Oh yeah, a little bit. It is nice to see that I get the fastest lap. But really what matters most is being able to keep it on the track and stay consistent.
Indeed. Well, thank you very much, Giovanni. Again, tough luck out there today, but hopefully next time you'll be a much better result.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the stream.
Oh, it's no worries. That's Giovanni Amorim. Now we'll get Bruno Amorim into the channel. Bruno, can you hear me?
How's it going?
It is going good, my friend. So, yeah, pretty good result for you out there today. I think you got some points in the end, so just kind of run us through your race.
Yeah, it was pretty decent. Honestly, I felt like I could have done better. I remember at the beginning, I felt really good at just about like my start and then kind of how the car was feeling and all that stuff. But yeah, made some mistakes. Pretty much every time practicing for this race, I was having issues with too much rear braking, and I thought I fixed it, and I ended up spinning out because I locked up the rears. So that was fun. But yeah, I don't know. And then I ended up going to C1s because I had to pit really early because I had rear wing damage from getting hit. And then, yeah, I was just kind of going through the motions at that point. I had a pretty good battle with Carter Jackson, I believe. It was an interesting fight, a lot of trading places, but it was a really good time, really respectful. So definitely appreciated that, and it was fun.
Oh, that's good to hear. I noticed at one point as well, you were battling with Giovanni at one point. What was kind of going through your head at that point?
The first time it happened, I was like really hoping for a good battle. It always gets pretty interesting and pretty spicy between us. So I was kind of hoping to, maybe put on a little bit of a show, I guess. But the second time I was on the C1s, and I asked him what tires he was on. He was on the C3s. I knew there was no chance, but I tried, but he was just faster.
That's fair enough. But I mean, obviously he may have been faster on the softer tires, but he you still had a good performance and a good result out there today. So that's what really matters.
Yeah, it was at the end of the day, it's better than getting no points. So I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Bruno, and great performance out there today.
Thank you.
That was Bruno Amorim, everybody. That will be the last of our interviews for today for the Challenger split of the Formula Trout Premier Series. Make sure that you stick about, because just in a few moments' time, we'll be going live with the Master split. Obviously, I'll have Caitlin Penny alongside me for that one, taking over the reins of my incredibly dodgy commentary that I would appear I'm having today. Again, apologies. I appear to be having an absolutely awful night in terms of my ability to speak English. But then again, that appears to be every night most times. Thank you very much for joining us here for the Challenger split of the Formula Trout Premier Series. And again, make sure you stick around, because